Hello, my friend. Thank you for being here today. This story is for you to help your English and to help your heart grow. This is not a story about a hero or a famous person. It is a story about someone quiet, someone like you. Her name is Emma. She is not strong or brave in the beginning. She is shy. She is afraid to speak English. But inside her heart, she wants to change. She wants to speak. She wants to live without fear. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you are also afraid, but deep down, you still want to try. This story is for you. You will follow Emma's journey. You will hear her thoughts, her fear, and her quiet hope. You will listen, and you will learn. With every line, your English will grow. With every feeling, you will understand more. So, sit back, take a deep breath, listen to this story slowly, gently, and with an open heart. You will improve your English, but more than that, you will feel something deep inside begin to change. Now, let's begin. Emma is 27 years old. She lives in a small apartment in a big city. She works in a quiet office downtown. Every day, she wakes up at 6:30 a.m., drinks tea, and walks to work. She takes the same street and passes the same shops. Her life is simple. Some people say it is boring, but for Emma, routine feels safe. She does not like surprises. Emma is not good at talking to people at work. She answers emails, joins meetings, and eats lunch alone. She smiles when people talk to her, but inside, she feels nervous. Her heart beats fast when she has to speak. She likes books more than parties. She likes quiet cafes more than loud restaurants. She likes to listen more than talk. Emma's parents live far away, in a small town. She calls them once a week, usually on Sunday evenings. She has no brothers or sisters, no pets. Sometimes she feels like the city is too big for her small voice. She started learning English in school, but back then, it was only grammar, tests, and memorizing long word lists. She was good at writing and reading, but when the teacher asked her to speak, she froze. Her voice became small. After school, she never used English again. She thought, I'm not good at this. Why should I try? But deep down, Emma had a dream, a quiet dream she never told anyone. She wanted to travel. She wanted to speak freely. She imagined herself walking in London or New York, sitting in a park, ordering coffee in English with confidence. But that dream stayed in her heart. For years, she said nothing. She worked. She went home. She repeated. Sometimes at night, Emma watched YouTube videos in English. She watched other people talk. They looked happy, confident. She listened, but she did not understand everything. She repeated some sentences. She liked how they sounded. She thought, what if I could speak like that? What if I could understand and answer without fear? But then she laughed at herself. I'm too old. I'm not smart. I'm just an office girl in a city where no one notices. Still, something inside her didn't give up. Every week, she watched another video. Every time, she felt a little spark. One day, she saw a story on YouTube. It was about a man who learned English at home just by talking to himself. He used simple methods. He didn't go to school. He just practiced alone every morning and every night. Emma listened to his story 3 times. She paused. She whispered, "Maybe I can try too, just a little." That night, she opened a new notebook. On the first page, she wrote, "My English practice, day 1. She looked in the mirror. Her hands shook. Her voice was soft, but she said it anyway. "My name is Emma." She said it again. "My name is Emma. I live in the city. I want to learn English." She smiled. It felt strange. She didn't know if she was doing it right. She felt silly, like a child, but also proud. No one heard her. No one corrected her. But for the first time in years, Emma spoke English out loud. She didn't speak much, just a few simple sentences. But that night, she slept with a quiet smile. The next morning, she tried again, this time in the bathroom mirror. "I wake up at 6, I drink tea, I go to work." Each sentence was short, but each one gave her courage. She wrote the words down, then she said them again. For 1 week, she practiced 10 minutes every day, sometimes in the morning, sometimes at night. She didn't tell anyone. It was her small secret, a quiet project, a quiet hope. By the end of the week, she could talk for 1 minute about her daily life. Her voice still shook, but less than before. Emma started to feel something new, a small kind of power, like maybe she could keep going. She still didn't understand fast English. She still couldn't speak to people, but now she had started, and starting, she realized, is the hardest part. Emma continued her small English routine. Every morning, she stood in front of the mirror. Every night, she opened her notebook and spoke alone. She used simple words. She talked about her day. "I went to work. I ate lunch. I walked home." It was not perfect, but it was practice. She didn't worry about grammar. She didn't worry about mistakes. She only tried to speak. That was her rule: speak first, fix later. After 2 weeks, Emma found a new video on YouTube. It said, "Talk to yourself in English every day. Speak without fear." The method was called self-talk. She smiled. That was exactly what she was doing. She didn't know it had a name. The video gave more ideas. Describe what you see. Talk about your plans. Say what you feel. Say it out loud. So Emma began doing that. "On the way to work," she whispered, "I see a red car. A dog is running. The shop is closed." When she cooked dinner, she said, "I cut the onion, I add salt, I wait 5 minutes, now I eat." She even talked to her plants. "Hello, little plant. Are you happy today? Do you need more water?" At first, it felt strange, but soon it became normal. Speaking English was not scary when she was alone. After 3 weeks, she started recording herself. Her voice sounded strange. She didn't like hearing it. But she listened anyway. She took notes. "I say walk wrong. I say work too fast." She repeated those words. Sometimes she felt stuck. She didn't know what to say. Her mind went blank. She forgot words she knew yesterday. On those days, she felt tired. "Maybe I'm not smart enough," she thought. "Maybe I can't do this." But the next morning, she tried again. She remembered her rule: speak first, fix later. So she kept going. Emma bought a small whiteboard and put it on her wall. Every day, she wrote a new sentence in English. I am proud of myself today. I will speak with love. Mistakes are part of learning. These were her daily reminders. She also began to keep an English journal. Each night she wrote 2 or 3 sentences. Simple, honest, real. Today I felt shy in the meeting. I wanted to say more, but I didn't. I hope I can change that. After 1 month, Emma felt stronger. Her English wasn't fluent, but her fear was smaller. Her voice was louder. She still didn't speak to real people in English. That step felt big, too big, but she was getting ready. Then one day, something small happened that made a big difference. She was in a cafe, reading a book. A tourist walked in. He looked confused. He asked, "Excuse me, where is the bathroom?" No one answered. Emma looked up. Her heart beat fast. Her mind screamed, "Say something," but her mouth was dry. Still, she stood up. She pointed. "There," she said, behind the counter. The man smiled. "Thank you so much." Emma sat down. Her hands were shaking, but her face was warm. Her body said fear, but her heart said proud. She had spoken just 1 word, but it was real, it was English, and it helped someone. That night, she wrote in her journal, "I spoke today, just 1 word, but I did it, I really did it." From that moment, Emma felt something shift. She was no longer just practicing English, she was using it in life. She wanted more. She searched for ways to improve. One video said, "Try shadowing, listen and repeat. Copy the sound exactly." Emma didn't know this word shadowing, but she learned. It meant speaking with the audio at the same time. She started with cartoons. The voices were slow, clear, and full of feeling. She chose her favorite, a show about a bear and a bird. She watched each episode 3 times, first with subtitle, the second without, third, she spoke with the characters sentence by sentence. At first it was hard. Her mouth couldn't move fast enough. Her tongue felt heavy. She got tired after 5 minutes. But she kept going. Every day, 10 minutes. Just 1 scene, 1 voice, 1 step at a time. She laughed with the characters. She copied their energy. "Let's go. I'm so happy. What are you doing?" These lines stayed in her head. Soon, Emma noticed something new. Her sentences became faster. Her voice was clearer. She sounded more natural. She began to enjoy learning. English was no longer a school subject. It was a friend, a part of her day. She spoke to herself. She shadowed cartoons. She wrote her journal. She believed again. And deep down, Emma started to dream bigger. One Saturday morning, Emma sat by the window with tea in her hand. The sunlight was soft. The city was quiet. She felt calm. She opened YouTube and searched how to read in English. A new video came up. The title was The 3-Pass Method. She clicked. A teacher smiled on the screen. First pass, just read and enjoy. Do not stop. Second pass, read slowly and underline. Third pass, read again. Write down new words and repeat the key sentences. Read them out loud. Emma listened. She nodded. This feels like something I can do. Step by step. No pressure. She found a short story online. It was about a girl who wanted to dance. The language was simple and full of feeling. She read it once just for fun. The girl fell. The girl cried. The girl stood up again. Emma felt a little stronger inside. On the second pass, she underlined words. stage, brave, silent tears. She didn't stop to check, just read and felt. On the third pass, she looked up meanings. She wrote 5 new words in her notebook. Then she practiced saying them out loud. She copied sentences she loved. She was afraid, but she danced anyway. Emma whispered it 3 times. She felt it. Every week, she read one short story this way. She called it her Sunday reading. It became her favorite part of the week. Her English grew, slowly but clearly. Her vocabulary was deeper. Her voice was smoother. Her thoughts in English became more natural. One day, she walked into a bookstore. There was a table of books with the sign English, Easy Readers. Her heart jumped. She picked one, The Missing Cat Level 2. She smiled. This is for me. It cost $5. She bought it with joy. At home, she opened it. The words felt like old friends. She read 5 pages in one sitting. No stress, no fear. That night, she tried something new. She turned on a romantic movie in English, one she had seen before, but with Vietnamese subtitles. This time, she chose English subtitles. Then, she watched again, without subtitles. Her heart raced. Could she understand? To her surprise, she understood more than she expected. Not every word, but the feeling, the story, the emotions. She laughed at the funny parts. She cried at the sad parts. And she whispered the lines she loved the most. "I'm scared too," the girl in the movie said. "But we have to try." Emma paused and repeated it 5 times. That line stayed in her heart. A few days later, something happened, something small but powerful. She was waiting for her bus. Next to her stood a woman with a map in her hand. She looked confused. She turned to Emma. "Hi," she said. "Do you know how to get to Central Park?" Emma froze. For a second, the old fear returned. But then she smiled. She breathed. She answered. "Yes," she said. "You take bus 12. It stops here. 10 minutes. I also go there." The woman smiled back. "Thank you. Your English is very clear." Emma laughed softly. "Thank you. I practice a lot." They talked more. Just simple things. "Where are you from? What do you do?" Emma was nervous, but she kept going. When the bus came, they sat together. They talked all the way. 20 minutes of real English conversation. Emma couldn't believe it. She wanted to cry. She wanted to shout. She felt light, free, alive. When she got home, she wrote in her journal, "Today I had a full conversation." In English, with a stranger. It felt real. She underlined the words "felt real" because it was not just practice anymore. It was part of her real life. After that day, Emma walked with more confidence. She spoke to tourists when they looked lost. She ordered coffee in English. She even changed the settings on her phone and laptop to English. It felt like her new world. She created a new habit. She called it English Hour. Every evening from 8 to 9 p.m., everything around her was in English. She read, she listened, she spoke, she wrote all in English. It was her time, her world, her voice. Emma still made mistakes. Sometimes she forgot words. Sometimes she said the wrong thing, but she smiled through it. Because now she didn't fear mistakes. She saw them as steps. Every mistake was a lesson. Every lesson was progress. Her coworker asked her one day, "Why are you smiling more these days? Emma answered, "Because I'm finally speaking." 3 months passed. Emma was growing. Her English improved. Her voice was stronger. Her face was brighter. Life was moving forward. But life does not always move in a straight line. Sometimes it turns, sometimes it falls, and sometimes it breaks your heart. One Friday afternoon, Emma was called into her manager's office. The meeting was short, cold, and final. Her company was downsizing. She lost her job. Just like that, everything changed. The safe routine, the small comfort, the daily rhythm, gone. She walked home in silence. That evening, she sat in the dark. No tea, no English, no smile, just her notebook, closed, on the table. She felt shame, fear, anger. She whispered, "What now? What is the point? I tried, I worked hard. For what?" The next day, she didn't practice. She didn't speak. She didn't open her English journal. Her heart felt heavy. Her hope disappeared. A week passed. She stayed inside. She watched old shows in Vietnamese. She stopped watching English videos. Her confidence was gone. One night, while cleaning her desk, she found her notebook again. The cover had a small sticker, "Start small, keep going." She almost cried. She opened the book. On page 1, she saw her first sentence, "My name is Emma. I live in the city." She touched the words. They felt like a memory from another life, a better one, a braver one. She flipped through the pages. Her handwriting was messy, growing, alive, sentences full of hope, lines full of courage. She whispered to herself, "Was that really me? Then, slowly, can I become her again?" That night, she opened a video, an old one. A woman with a calm voice said, "You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin again." Emma listened to that sentence 10 times. She wrote it down. She said it out loud. Her voice cracked, but it came out. "You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin again." The next morning, she did something small. She made tea. She sat by the window, and she wrote 3 lines in English. "I feel sad today. I miss my job, but I want to keep learning." It wasn't much, but it was real. It was honest. It was a step. The next day, she did the same. 3 lines, then 4, then 5. Her words were slow, but her heart was moving. She remembered a quote, "Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. She wrote it in big letters on her wall. She also called her best friend, Mia. They hadn't spoken in months. Emma told her everything, the job, the silence, the fear. Mia listened, then said, "Emma, you're stronger than you think. You taught yourself English. That's not small. That's huge." Emma smiled for the first time in many days. Mia added, "Maybe now is the time to try something new. Maybe not an office job. Maybe something more you." Emma thought about that. What was more her? What did she love? What did she feel alive doing? She looked around her apartment, books, notebooks, her whiteboard, her videos, her English hour. She loved learning. She loved sharing. She loved helping others feel less afraid. Suddenly, an idea came. What if I make a blog, a small one? Just simple posts in English about my journey. She laughed at first. Who would read it? But her heart said, "Why not try?" That evening, she opened a free blog page. She titled it, Emma's Small Steps, Learning English with Heart. She wrote her first post, "Hello, I'm Emma. I'm not a teacher. I'm just a girl who speaks to her plants in English. I learned to love my mistakes. I learned to start again. If you're afraid to speak, I understand. I was you." The post was short, honest, simple. She published it. Her hands were shaking, but her heart was full. The next day, 3 people read it. One left a comment, "Thank you. I feel the same. I'm learning too. Let's not give up." Emma smiled. Her heart felt light again, not because she had a plan, but because she had a reason. She wasn't learning English just for a job or travel or grammar tests. She was learning to become free. Free to speak, free to try, free to fail and begin again. 6 months later, Emma stood in front of a small group of people. They sat in a cozy library, waiting for her to speak. It was an English meetup, a free event where learners came to talk, listen, and grow together. Emma had been invited as a guest speaker, not because she was perfect, but because she had a story. She looked around the room. Some people looked nervous, some looked excited, some looked just like she did 1 year ago. She smiled, held the microphone, and said, "Hi, my name is Emma, and I used to be afraid to say just that." The room was quiet, but her voice was steady, not loud, not fast, but warm, clear, alive. She told them everything: the mirror practice, the cartoons, the first sentence in her journal, the lost job, the lost hope. She also told them how she found her voice again through a small blog, a kind friend, and 3 lines of honest English. People listened with open hearts. Some nodded, some smiled. One woman wiped a tear. After the talk, a young man came up to her. He said, "Thank you. I haven't spoken in English for years, but today I feel brave." Emma held his hand. "That's how it begins," she said. "One feeling, one sentence. That's all you need." She walked home that night with a quiet joy. The city lights looked softer. The air felt kind. Her fear was gone. She wasn't fluent. She still made mistakes, but she was no longer silent. She was no longer afraid. She was free. At home, she opened her journal. On the last page, she wrote, "I am not perfect. I am not finished, but I speak, I help, I live in English, in truth, in hope." She closed the book, not with an ending, but with a breath of beginning. A few weeks later, she started a YouTube channel, simple stories, short lessons, words from the heart. She didn't use big grammar terms. She didn't wear fancy clothes. She just spoke the way she wished someone had spoken to her. Her first video was called "You Don't Have to Be Perfect to Start." It reached 500 views in 2 days. People wrote, "I thought I was too old. I thought I was too shy. Now I want to try." Emma read every comment. She replied with care. She said, "I believe in you," and she meant it, because she remembered how it felt to sit in silence with dreams too soft to say aloud. She had lived it. She had risen from it. And now she wanted to help others do the same. Looking back, she saw 5 lessons: simple, honest, true. She shared them in every video. 1, start small. 1 word, 1 sentence. Do not wait for the perfect time. Begin now. 2, speak to yourself out loud every day. You are your first and best conversation partner. 3. Repeat what you love, a movie line, a cartoon, a story. If it makes you feel, say it again. 4. Write your truth, even if it's only 3 lines a day. Let your heart learn English too. 5. Mistakes are not the end. They are the way. If you fall, you stand. If you forget, you return. Emma didn't promise fluency in 1 month. She promised something deeper: confidence, connection, courage. And people followed her, not because she was a teacher, but because she was real. She spoke slowly, clearly, with feeling. Every word was like a hand reaching out saying, "You're not alone." That's what made her special, not grammar, not accent, but honesty, heart, hope. Now it is your turn. Maybe you are afraid. Maybe your voice is small. Maybe you think you can't. But you can. Speak 1 word today, then 1 sentence. Write a line, watch a story, try again. Not to be perfect, but to be brave. Open your notebook, start small, keep going. Your story begins now. This is your turn. Start today.